Hey there, it's Coach Jeff from CrossFit CFSD. Today's workout, we're going to be doing some strength movements for your upper body and core in our first part. We're going to do an every minute on the minute workout with 4 different movements. Each movement, we're going to spend about 30 to 40 seconds on that movement, and we'll rest over the remainder of the minute. First movement we're going to do is a lateral raise with a dumbbell or some other object. So a lateral raise means to bring that object out to the side with control using the muscles on the side of the shoulder. So we'll do one arm, and then we'll go to a set of Russian twists on the floor, so that's seated, using your core strength to move the object. Then we'll go to opposite arm, the left arm for those lateral raises, and then we're going to do a squat movement where we take that object and basically squat and bring that object into the front position or the frontal position, building some core hip and shoulder strength and some coordination. So we do 4 rounds of that. I'm not going to probably use a weight that's overly heavy today. Those side raises are fairly challenging. For most of you, something that is like 3 to 10 pounds is probably enough. If you're someone who is very strong, you can probably work your way up to something a little heavier, but it would also be fine that you simply grab something on the lighter side, like a water bottle or something like that that's only a couple pounds, and use that as your object. Okay, so that'll be part 1. Second part, we're going to do a fairly aggressive workout. It's going to be a 12-minute amrap. We're going to do overhead squats with one object in overhead position, squatting nice and low. You're going to then do 7 ground to overhead, so basically a clean and jerk or a dumbbell or a snatch on the same arm. Then you're going to repeat it on the opposite arm, 7 of the overhead squats and 7 of the ground to overhead. And then you're going to give me 7 pull-ups if you have a pull-up bar available to you, or you're going to give me 14 Renegade rows, that's basically on the floor, rowing a dumbbell or some other object up. You're going to give me 14 Renegade rows, and you'll be doing that for a certain amount of time, as we said, 12-minute amrap. Okay, so as many rounds as you can do in that workout. All right, so let's start by getting warmed up. What we want to do is, if you have a broomstick or a PVC pipe or something available, we want to work on some of that kind of overhead mobility. So you do a pass-through, grab on the wider side, lock your arms, think about shrugging, and then with straight arms, bring those arms up and around and touching the lower back and then returning. So what we don't want to see is the elbows bending. Nice, straight, long reach and return. If this feels comfortable, keep doing it and moving your fingers in a little bit each time until you get to a position where either the elbows start to bend or you feel some uncomfortable stretching the shoulder, and that'll be kind of the maximum that you can come in for width of your hands. Okay, once you do about 30 or 40 seconds of those, switch to an overhead squat position. So press that bar, PVC pipe, whatever you have, up, lock the shoulder blades, lock the elbows, sit the hips back, and do overhead squats where you come down nice and low. I'll go side profile, so the bar is straight up and down, my hips sit down and back. Pulling my hips down below the knees. So don't go too fast in these. Try to think about a 2 or 3 second descent, maybe a 1 second hold at the bottom to find some mobility and balance. Let's do about 10 to 15 of those to get those hips warm. Okay? Once you're done with that, the PVC pipe can go away. I'd like you to give me a inchworm stretch into a Renegade row. So an inchworm would simply be walking myself out to a plank position, keeping the legs straight. We're going to go 1 arm row, the other arm row, and then I'm going to walk myself back. I'm going to hold this hamstring stretch, and I'll continue to walk it back out for the next inchworm row. Do about 6 to 8 of these total, getting the shoulders and the back ready for the row, and warming those hamstrings up for all the other movements we're doing today. Okay? From there, we're going to do a Russian twist. So we will be doing this with weight later, if that feels okay. You'll have an object, dumbbell or whatever, using water bottle. You can leave the feet, like the heels, on the floor, or you can choose to pick them up and elevate them. Think about turning your torso and crunching it to one side, lifting it up, crunching it down. if I had a ball or an object in my hand, I would put the ball in the basket, reach it up, put it in the basket next to me. So we're using all the muscles in the trunk. We're not so much turning the arms and turning the shoulders, right? All the muscles in the core, right? So do about 12 of those total, just getting a feel for that movement, okay? From there, just grab a light dumbbell. Again, it can be something, just a few pounds, a little heavier if you feel good about it. So when we do a lateral raise, so this is a raise coming out to the side, what we want to do is bring the arm straight out till the arm is just above parallel and come down with control. So straight out wouldn't be forward or back, but we're looking for this direct extension right out from your body and come down with control. You can keep the opposite hand on your hip for balance so that you're not falling all over the place. You may find that you would need to put your hand on an object, like a wall, like a tabletop, and that might help you be more stable, especially if you're trying to lift a heavier object. So do 10 on one arm, and then do 10 on the other arm. Feel that control out, make sure the elbow's not bending, things aren't wobbling. Nice, straight, long arm. You're gonna feel this in the side of your shoulder. Mainly, you're gonna feel it in your core if you're keeping your core nice and tight. From there, let's look at the squat with the forward raise. So from a side profile, if I were gonna bring the weight up using the fronts of my shoulders, that would be the front raise. We're gonna counterbalance that with the squat. So this is a little like the air squat, where we sit down and back and we bring our hands forward, but we're gonna find that that weight equally balances the squat going down. And there's a little bit of timing there, there's a little bit of coordination there. Excellent movement for building some strength in the core and feeling the coordination of when the upper body and the lower body are working together to balance that squat. So let's do about 10 or 15 of those with a light weight. Once you're done with that, let's do the overhead squat. So single arm overhead squats tend to be challenging for people because they bring in some mobility and balance issues. A couple things we want to make sure of. We are locking out this shoulder blade and we are locking out this elbow. It should not be bending. There is no pressing going on here. We want to squat down and back. The other arm will be a counterbalance. You can do with it what you feel is right. So I'm going to press the hips back. I want to keep my arm straight up and down. I'm going to squat below parallel. I'll do about 8 to 10 on that side. I'll switch arms. Again, I'll make sure the shoulder blade and arm are locked out. And I'll squat below parallel. So do not use a weight that's heavier than you can handle in this movement. The range of motion and the balance, meaning the weight shift staying balanced in your feet and the weight staying locked down and control, is much more important than trying to move a heavy weight around in this movement, right? It's all about quality of movement. So do 10 of those overhead squats per side. And the last thing you're going to work on is your ground to overhead. So that is either your snatch or your clean and jerk movement. Either one is acceptable. It's really up to you. Use a weight in the warm-up that is easy-ish, but if you plan on using a weight for the workout that is heavy, meaning usually the RX for this in a workout for the men would be a 50-pound dumbbell or heavier, for the ladies a 35. I would do a couple sets of the overhead squats and the rows either now in the warm-up or after part one just to get ready for it if you're going to go heavier, just so your body's ready. Okay? The last thing you need to warm up is, again, if you have a pull-up bar available to you and you are going to do some pull-ups, body weight, kipping, strict, otherwise, go warm up a few of those pull-ups now so that you're ready for them later. Again, if you're not doing pull-ups, you're going to be doing that Renegade row that we did in the warm-ups. You can do it body weight, you can do it with a dumbbell, whatever works for you. Okay? All right, so let's reiterate the workout. We are going to do 4 rounds, 30 or 40 seconds of work. Closer to 40 if you're not using a heavier weight. Closer to 30 if you're using something that is quite fatiguing. You're doing lateral raises to the right side. We're doing those Russian twists on the floor. We're going to do lateral raises to the left side. And then we're going to do those squat movements where we reach that object forward. So 4 rounds of that, 30 to 40 seconds each, resting the remainder of the minute. Start with a weight you can manage. If you feel like you can go heavier every single round and keep your form good, you should try to do that. It'll mean less reps, but that's okay. The reps will be more challenging, right? Second part, you're going to go to a workout that is 7 overhead squats, right arm extended, 7 ground to overhead, repeat on the other side, 7 overhead squats and ground overhead with the other arm, and then you're going to do 7 pull-ups or 14 Renegade rows. Give yourself, I would say, 12 minutes to do as many rounds as you can. Some of you will probably be able to get to 5 or 6 or more rounds of these movements. Others probably more like in the 4 to 5 round range. Again, pick a weight that you will be able to move well with. You ideally should be able to do all 7 reps of each movement unbroken every time you pick that weight up. That would be a good judge of how much weight you should use. Okay? All right, so work hard today. Let us know how you did. Maybe post some pictures of your workout on social media. And we'll see you next time. Remember, hashtag CFSD Strong if you're posting stuff on social media. Have a good day.